Hi everyone, my name is Steph, this is the Novelty Corner, and today I have my August book haul for you. This is a long one, there are 23 books, but I have read everything except 4 of the books, 2 of which I am planning on reading the weekend that I'm filming this, so we're not doing too badly. Pretty much I read every single book before I bought it, so this is me curating my bookshelves because that's what I like to do. I'm going to start with some books that I received for review, and then I'm going to go through the rest of my books. There was one sci-fi book that I purchased, and then everything else was romance, because it was that kind of reading month. Alright, from Scholastic I received 3 children's picture books. The first one was Dinosaur Dads. This one is by Lesley Gibbs and it is hilarious. It is a rhyming storybook about 3 baby dinosaurs who go on adventures with their dads, and I loved it. It was really fun. From Tull, Suwannakit, there was Happy Hoppy Home, which is about a family of hares who are searching for a new home, and when they find a new home they realise that maybe something new, big and shiny is not necessarily what they were after. And then the picture book that I haven't read yet is this one, Dear Dad, I Want to Be Just Like You. This one's by Ellen and Simon Williams, and this is one of those books where you can pull things out and read all the letters. I am planning on reading it this weekend so that I can review it and then also read it with my class while we're in remote learning, because it's Father's Day coming up here in Australia. So thank you very much to Scholastic for those books. Then from Allen and Unwin I received 3 books, 1 young adult title and then 2 adult titles. So the young adult title is Enola Holmes and the Black Barouche, I think. I have not read any of the Enola Holmes books by Nancy Springer, although I did really like the Netflix adaptation, so I'm very willing to give this one a shot. This one was unsolicited, but I'm looking forward to picking it up. I also received The Housemate by Sarah Bailey. Sarah Bailey is an Australian thriller writer. I read her first trilogy, which was the Detective Gemma Woodstock series that started with The Dark Lake and had a very unreliable narrator in that story, and I really loved it. So this is her newest book. I can't wait to read it, even though it's probably going to stress me out like all thrillers do, but I trust Sarah Bailey, so I'm very, very eager. This one comes out on the 31st. And then the last book that I was approved to receive from Allen and Unwin had me very excited and unbelievably shocked that I got accepted for this, and that is The Heart Principle by Helen Huang, which is the next book in the Kiss Quotient series of books. I have heard that this one leans more towards women's fiction than to romance, which is totally fine because I trust Helen Huang's writing. I'm very excited to read this one. You have no idea. Alright, so those are my review copies. Let's dive into the books that I purchased. There was one sci-fi purchase for this month, and this was a pre-order that I've had pre-ordered for months, and that is The Psalm for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers. This is the first book in her Monk and Robot series, which is a novella series, so it's super short. I've already read and reviewed this one. I really, really loved it. It really looks at the relationship humans have with their creations and also with themselves. So I'm very eager to see where this series goes. Of course, I read the short Becky Chambers 2021 release. I still have not read the one that completes the Wayfarers series. I don't know if I'm ready for that series to be over yet, but I should really pick it up because as soon as I started reading this, I just fell in love again with Becky Chambers' writing style. Then moving into the romance books, there is one sort of sci-fi romance book that I picked up, and that is Tangled Wires by Lillian Lark. I read this with my buddy reading group. I really, really loved it, and I loved Lillian Lark's writing style, and I have since, read I think everything that she has out currently. I really wanted to have a copy of this on my shelf because I love any stories that have an artificial intelligence in it, and this book does. So it is about a woman who has returned to her father's company where she works after his death, and the man who is currently running it is not actually a man. It is a creation that her father built to basically take her place, to be the better son/child that she wasn't for her father. And the two have a really complicated relationship, but the whole thing is just very eerie and hard-hitting. This is a lot darker than I expected it to be, but I thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyed myself. I have 2 romantic suspense books. These ones are unsurprising for most people because I've already read them and I love them, and that is the Survival Instinct series by Adriana. So there is Whiteout, which is the first book and is set in Antarctica and follows 2 people trying to escape across the Antarctic ice with an ice core sample that contains a virus. You read into that what you will. And then the second book, Uncharted, which came out just recently, and this one is set in Alaska, from memory. Yes, in Alaska, and is very similar. So I love these books. The one thing that does frustrate me though is that Uncharted is the new mass market paperback size, so they are different sizes, but you know what, who cares? I'm going to be rereading these definitely because I love them. All right, some contemporary books, and these feature all types of contemporaries. I did pick up Priest and Sinner by Sierra Simone, so These are the 2 books. I read these ages ago, and you guys know how much I really adore reading Sierra Simone's books, so I wanted to add these to my collection because I am slowly collecting most of her books. These are also due for a reread, especially Sinner, because I love that book so much. Also, the third book is coming out really soon, so I should probably reread them before then. You will have seen in my 5th anniversary video that I also bought 5 books to celebrate my 5th booktube anniversary. So Fall and Exposed by Kristen Callihan were 2 of those books. These are part of the VIP series. They're books 3 and 4 respectively, and they are Rockstar Romance books, and I adore them. 2 other books that I bought for that same video include the Twisted series by Hannah Huang, which consists of Twisted Love, which is book 1, which is a brother's best friend morality chain book, and also Twisted Games, which is a bodyguard royal romance, and they are both dark and delightful, and just go read them. The 5th and final book that I bought for my channel birthday was Hotter Than Ever by Elle Kennedy, which is just a nostalgic purchase for me because this was one of the first MMF romance books that I had read and I still really enjoyed it. The last of my contemporary romances, although I suppose this was more romantic suspense, but I didn't really include it in there, so it's going in here anyway, is The Cleaner by Jessica Gadziala, which was the most recent release in the Professional series. This is a series that I do really enjoy, and Finn, the hero in this book in particular, is a character that I've been very intrigued by, and I really loved what Jessica Gadziala did with his character in this series because he has OCD and it presents itself in a very particular way, and it just felt very deftly handled in this book. All right, so the last 5 books that I have to talk about are all paranormal romance books. There is Witches Get Stitches by Juliette Cross, which is the 3rd book in her Stay a Spell series, which you guys know I'm obsessed with this series. I love it. It is so much fun and I cannot wait for more books. I also picked up my copy of Last Guard because that was released, and this is by Nalini Singh. It is the 5th book in the Psi Trinity series, book 20 overall in the Psi Changeling world. I have a full video review of this book up on my channel, so you can go and check that out, but I really enjoyed it. I love these characters, and I loved that we get to see a different part of the world that we haven't seen yet in the series. And the last 3 books are part of the same series. This is the Relic series. It is by Maz Maddox. These are Dinosaur shifter romance stories featuring male-male couples, and they are freaking delightful. Smash and Grab is the 1st book, Sink or Swim is the 2nd book, and King and Queen is the 3rd book in the series so far. These just have really delightfully fun characters. If you want a book with a totally unrepentant smartass, read Smash and Grab, because Dalton is just one of my favorite characters that I've read this year. He is absolutely delightful and fun and ridiculous. It's amazing. So those were all the books that I have acquired in August. I know it's a lot, but as I said, I'm curating my bookshelves based on things that I've already read, and a lot of these are indie published books, which makes me really happy to be adding some of those to my shelves as well. In the comments, let me know if you have read any of these books or if you're planning on picking them up. Alternatively, feel free to share anything that you have acquired in August. If you want to let me know that you're here but you don't want to leave a comment, feel free to leave a dinosaur emoji down there because there seems to be a lot of dinosaur books in this particular book haul. Otherwise, I hope that wherever you are in the world, you're staying safe and healthy, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye everyone.